All right, everyone. Greetings and peace. Welcome to the Committed Relationships and Spiritual Activity YouTube channel. I am your host, Neo, and I'm here to share some info with the people. Okay, back with another recording that I definitely want to share with you all. And I already shared information similar to this in my previous videos. I think it's called either the Materialism Trap or the Shopping Mall Trap, something like that. You can go back and check out my Psychological Trap series that I have on my YouTube channel here, the home page, and click on that and you can check that out to get more information. My first information that I shared, or one of my first information that I shared about materialism. Now we're going to talk about today is materialism is a mental disorder. Now this comes from my years of personal development completion and also raising to a higher spiritual consciousness level that's way above average. And my personal development included I say about 4 or 5 top books, but 2 in particular that were my top books that made me really get on, that helped assist me in my personal development journey. And that's, the first book is Straight Talk for Men About Marriage, and I mentioned that one a lot, and also Understanding Other People. Understanding Other People. I forgot the other thing says, the top 5 secrets to understanding people. I'll put the image up in the video for the video by the time you guys watch this. But anyways, those are the 2 top books that really got me going, but especially the Understanding Other People. And that one helped me understand the ego a lot more also, and understanding that everybody speaks from their own point of view through their own filters. And anybody who read that book already know what I'm talking about as far as filters. If you have not read that book, definitely go ahead and read that book. But anyways, and also studying the mind and its functions, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. That's another thing that I've been doing for many years also. So this is where this information comes from. And I came to a realization, I would say either a few months ago or maybe sometime last year, where I was I was either watching something on TV or I was thinking about somebody's behavior, and then it clicked to me that, hold on, wait a minute, so materialism is a mental disorder. And me understanding different disorders, I was comparing the different disorders, and somehow I was thinking about the different disorders that causes people to prevent them from perceiving things in a normal state of being, and also that causes them to do things that they don't need to do, but they feel like they have to do it. And I was thinking about OCD one day. Yes. And I was thinking about myself, and then I was watching something else, and then it popped to me and made me think that materialism is the same thing as a mental disorder. But it's just that most doctors fail to actually mention, whether they realize it or not, and they just don't mention it, that it's a mental disorder. Because if you think about it, the materialism, as I have the definition, it says, and I looked it up, it says it's a way of thinking that gives importance to material possessions rather than to spiritual or intellectual things. And as you may know, whether it be you as the materialistic individual or as someone that you have been in a relationship, in one or more relationships with, especially a committed relationship like a marriage or a boyfriend or girlfriend, you know that materialism disrupts relationships. This is something that I've studied throughout my years, my last year all the way up till now, of studying the show Divorce Court. Here in America, we have a show called Divorce Court, and Divorce Court, I study it for relationship study purposes, and I study the patterns that people have within their relationships. And I've noticed that it is, and this is the reason why I'm doing this recording right now, because I just got done about an hour ago watching watching divorce court, and I realized that finances is usually what causes people to get in trouble, financial problems. And I was studying the individual, the female of the woman of the relationship, and I read her energy, and it's in her energy and it's in her movements. And I can tell a materialistic person even by the way that they talk. And I realized that she's probably been materialistic from the beginning. And that was the reason why she got with the guy that she's now divorcing on the show. But she's divorcing him now because his money started to dry up and he had started to have financial problems. Whenever an individual divorces another individual due to financial problems, that is a good sign that that person was not really truly into that person and truly had a connection with the person, psychological or spiritual connection, or even emotional connection with the individual. It was probably a relationship that was dominated and primarily a materialistic, maybe sexual relationship. Because if a person could cut off another person just because they no longer have the money, as far as a committed relationship, then that's not a person you want to be with in the beginning. That's why I tell people that when you meet an individual, that is the time to really gauge everything as much as possible to see if they're materialistic or not. Because this is a mental disorder, and it will mess up so many situations. Because, and I have notes here, and I wrote down, everything will most likely revolve around material possessions, causing less of a spiritual or intellectual experience. So it's like, say for example, you want to go on a romantic date, and you as an individual, you just want to go and do something different, something that is simple but at the same time sentimental, like go on a picnic. You want to go on top of a grassy hill, the highest hill you can find, and you just want some simple sandwiches, some chips, something to drink, and it's just you and the other individual. But no, guess what? The materialistic person, if they even agree to do something simple as that, if they agree to do it, because it depends on what level the individual is, the mental disorder is. Because if it's a high level materialistic type of individual, they more than likely won't even perceive that as an option as far as doing something that simple and sentimental. That's the first thing you got to consider. But if they do it, they got to make sure that they get all of the best sandwiches from the highest quality place. They got to have the highest drinks. It can't be just something simple as water or something else healthy like a veggie drink. And if it is a veggie drink, it's something that's sky high, high quality, of course, where it has to be, where it's like almost damn near $8 or $10 for a bottle, something like that. Let me see what else would they normally. How would normally put it? They would normally think, and they would even, and depending on the level, they'll even be concerned about the quality of the blanket that you sit on, and that's even if you sit on the ground, because they might not even want to be sitting on the ground. I mean, you can really just look at a lot of these movies, and the movies program people to be materialistic. And here in America, it's just all over. Everything is all over as far as the materialism programming, psychological conditioning in the movies, TV shows, definitely the TV shows, and the magazines, where it influences people to feel like they always have to have the top-notch thing. The best iPhone, the best clothing, the best sneakers. You got to get the best Jordans. You got to get the best vehicles. Go get the Porsche. Go get the Benz, and yada yada yada. So it's a psychological conditioning that really is a trap, and you have to have a strong mindset to get out of that. And for me, I remember when a few years ago in 2012, or maybe before that, I had a really high paying job, single, 0 children, and I avoided having children, and I had a lot of money coming in. And at that time I had a materialistic friend, and his influence, even before that, before I really got around him, before that I was not purchasing clothing or even video games as much as I did when I started to hang out with him. So I noticed that throughout that time I was just living it up, buying a whole bunch of clothing every time I go to the mall, and then I would buy more and more video games, and I would sit in front of those video games and just play them for hours and hours, just like him. And then when I look back at it, I realized that there was no spirituality and no higher intellectual thinking or experiences at that time for myself. And I was not even seeking any higher knowledge at that time throughout my materialistic mindset. So I realized that it's a psychosis that a person is trapped in, where they perceive everything as material possessions. Oh, I gotta get this, gotta get that, gotta get this, gotta get that. And it's a revolving behavior over and over again. And some people might wake up in the morning thinking about going to get that one or more things at the mall every single day. And some people, they work just so that they can maintain their materialistic lifestyle. That's another thing. Literally, you'll see those people, oh, I gotta go get the such and such, the new such and such that just came out, whether it be a new car or new sneakers and whatever, and they're saving just to get that. And that's all they ever talk about. And you know those people, and it can get so annoying when they only talk about material things. And then you got the sports people too. That's psychosis too. I don't know what I'm gonna call that. Maybe like the sports trap or something like that. So I got to think about that. I might do a psychological trap video regarding the sports trap for those people that always talking about sports as if it's their job, and they don't even get paid to talk about it at work, at school, or wherever it is. So the way to get out of this, as I say, it's a mental disorder. The way to get out of this is you have to first realize that it is a issue. It is a problem. It's a problem for you. A lot of people don't want to see that it's a problem, and a lot of them don't see that it as a problem. And times when people do see that it's a problem is when they see it in their relationships, how it's causing issues. When one person can't live that lifestyle anymore for one way or another, whether they're having financial problems, or one person just starts to spiritually awaken, because nowadays here in America especially, there's a large spiritual awakening that's going on. Mine started officially in 2012, and that's why nowadays I'm just relaxed about money. I'm relaxed about material possessions. Yes, I do understand the law of attraction, but at the same time, it's like my main focus is spiritual matters. And just as the Bible mentions at Matthew 5:3, happy are those conscious of their spiritual need. Materialistic people who are trapped in that mental disorder, they are not aware of their spiritual need. That's why a lot of times they get highly disappointed in a variety of situations that does not allow them to have the material possessions that they want to have. A lot of them are so trapped in that mental disorder that they can't just relax whenever they don't have a material possession that they wanted. They get furious. You'll see some people, ooh, and they get real hot and red. Like those cartoons, you know, where you got the steam coming out of their head. They get really mad, mad like that. So it's like you gotta grow out of it. You gotta really grow out of it, and you have to desire to let that materialistic mindset go. And even if it's necessary to to get psychological help, you can do that. I offer people psychological reconditioning with my own subliminal messaging tools through my NeoOnenessSubliminals. And yes, that is a plug. And you can check some of my information out on YouTube at NeoOnenessSubliminals. 2 words. So NeoOneness, NeoOneness, and Subliminals. You can spell that out for yourself. That's Subliminals. You can check that out on YouTube in the search menu. Or you can go to my YouTube channel, my website at transformationsubliminals.com and check that out. And you can probably get a materialistic reconditioning subliminal that will help you get out of that and to realize that that there is more to life than just material possessions. And that's what Jesus spoke about in so many different scriptures, also mentioning that even when a man does have abundance, his life is not should not surround himself around abundance, and or just materialism in general. That is not his end all be all. Let me see if I can find that scripture real quick. I have it on my wall somewhere. I gotta figure it out which one it is. What does he say? But anyways, the main gist of it is just saying that even when he does have everything that he needs, he has the wealth and whatever, that does not mean that that's the end all be all. So let me see here. So that's the big bottom line. Yeah, it's either the way to get out of it is either a person has a spiritual awakening or some other emergency awakening that makes them realize that they have to let go of that materialistic mindset. And it can be a variety of different things, but they have the desire to get out of it for themselves. And it can't be somebody else that try to force somebody out of it, because it's not going to work when you try to force somebody out of a lot of different things. So they have to do it themselves and really realize it. For me, it was spiritual awakening and maturity too. Maturity, because with maturity comes in naturally, but you can encourage it to increase by decreasing all of the things that would delay your maturity. But here in America, we have so many things in society that delays people maturity, and that's the reason why a lot of people are still psychologically immature. They're still children. It's because of this system of things that's built to keep people on a low level of maturity. So it's a conscious choice, and you have to keep fighting against all materialistic things that would try to recondition you into materialism. And that's TV is highly one of the top devices that keeps people on a low level, maturity level in general, but keeps them highly materialistic. So I rarely watch TV myself, and when I do watch TV, it's in somebody else's house, like my mother's or my aunt's or somebody else's house. I rarely ever watch TV, because those commercials are subliminally programming you to desire those material possessions, and you have to feel like you have to go out and get them. And me, now that I stopped watching TV largely, I rarely ever feel like I have to go out and get a material possession. I feel comfortable within myself. Those are the type of individuals that you really want to start relationships with, is the ones who feel solid, confident within themselves, who don't feel like they have to always have the latest and greatest material possession just to feel happy. Those are the ones you want to be with, the ones that are mature, the ones who can have a mature conversation with you without having to mention all of the latest and greatest material things that came out, and talk about how they want to get it or how they got it, and then they flash it off and they act like they are the best in the world just because they got the latest and greatest thing. You know those people, you know those Apple iPhone people, you know those Samsung Galaxy people, you know those new game console type people that just got the new game console or the new car type of people. You know how they are. So keep those things in mind and just look out for those people. And you don't want to focus on associating yourself heavily with those people if you don't want to attract and pick up the materialistic mental disorder yourself. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close this out right now. If you want to email me, you can email me. If it's about relationships, you can email me at CommittedRelationships@gmail.com. As far as relationship situations, if you want personal development conversations and you want to ask me questions about that, anything personal development, then you want to do it at NeoOnenessSubliminals@gmail.com. And definitely check out my NeoOnenessSubliminals YouTube channel and also my website at transformationsubliminals.com. Thank you, and until next time.